Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Growth Masters Academy. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a mini guide on how to get started with Instagram. I noticed a lot of you guys were not sure how to really start up your account or what email to use or how to set up your account properly. And so right now, I want to go step by step explaining to you guys how to do that. But before we do that, I must say, I'm going to be showing you guys things on a computer. I'm doing that because it's a lot easier to see all the steps and it's not as dependent per, software version and per phone, but you're going to have to do it through a phone. Again, every phone will be a little bit different though, and every version of software might have a little bit of a different looking interface. So that's what I'm doing on a computer, but you should first download the Instagram app on your phone and then go through this process. I'll explain everything though, so don't worry, but make sure you don't do this on a computer, but do it on a phone to make everything very, very easy for yourself. You could do it on a computer too, but again, most of my guides are based on you using a phone. Having said that, step number 1 is of course to create yourself an account. And if you're presented with 2 questions, phone number and password, or a general login screen, the first thing that you're gonna have to do is press sign up. And now is already where things are going to differ on a phone and on different phones, because it may ask you to put in a mobile number or email, but it could also be asking you guys for a username first. It depends a little bit on what version of Instagram you're using, and Instagram has a ton of different layouts that they just show to different people, so you might be presented with any one of these questions. However, I would always recommend to put in an email over a phone number, and I would also almost always recommend you guys to just make a fresh email, which might get in handy later if you ever decide to sell your account. However, again, everything I've said before about aliases and whatnot, you don't need to remember for right now. Just create yourself an account with a fresh email. That's going to be the simplest. Now for full name, and again, this might have shown up in a different order, but generally it will be the same thing. For full name, you can put in whatever you want. On the left here, I have an already established account. I've logged in, and this section is where it's going to show your real name. But as you can already kind of guess, it doesn't really matter what you put in there because it's going to be showing there first, but you can just instantly change it. So you can just put in no name, hello, your real name if you want to. You can put the same as your username, and your username is something you do have to think about a little bit. However, you can also change that one as many times as you want, but keep in mind, this is the username, and that's the one you generally use to look people up. However, if you have a popular account, for example, if you have, let's say, food, pick a big one. I don't know, if we find a big account like this, food, if you go to their settings, there's usually a button here, again, if you press settings on your phone, to show account history or something like that, which will show you all the previous usernames that this account has had. So make sure you don't go for something too personal, because, well, if you want to sell your account, it might always say that name forever. Password, I think you guys can all guess already. You have to just put in a password, and it might ask you 1 or 2 more things, which is first of all to verify your email, and second of all for a date of birth. The date of birth, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you put in, but I've seen it on a couple occasions that they ask you for it if you want to recover in some strange ways. I've personally recovered a ton of accounts after they have been blocked by some reason, and I've never needed it, but maybe you will do eventually, so I would recommend just putting in a date of birth that is, just something you can kind of remember, and make sure to put it over 18 even if you are not. Alright guys, the next very important thing is understanding the different tabs that your Instagram account may have. And the tabs are the things at the bottom right here. The thing is, they change very often and are account based. A lot of accounts may have a different layout as they're updating it right now, and thus I cannot say with certainty that yours will look like this or whether or not it'll be a little bit differently. Because if you scroll through this right here as well, you'll see a ton of people have a little bit of a different layout, and this is the old one. And this is the newer one, but it may also look like this, it may look like this, I do not know, all right? It can look like different things for anybody. I'm just going to be explaining here what they mean and what they do. So the most right one here will be your profile. It's just generally all the pictures you've posted. This one is your activities tab, which will show everybody who's pressed the like button on your picture and people who followed you just now. This is the shop tab, which will just show you guys things that you can buy. I've never used that before. The Reels tab, which will show you guys a certain type of videos, which are called Reels. The Explorer tab, which will, again, show you guys a lot of different content based on your account. And your homepage, which will just show you guys all different sorts of posts from people you follow. So this is the Explorer tab. It just shows a lot of different things. If I were to like only pictures like this, and I just kept liking them, then every time I update my Explorer page, it'll show more posts that are related to that, because this thing keeps updating itself every time you refresh. And this in your homepage, right now for me it shows nothing, but that's because I follow nobody. If I were to follow this person and I refresh, then right now you'd see that my homepage would be filled only with her and sometimes a couple of recommendations and sometimes maybe a couple of ads. By the way, this thing at the top here, which may look a little bit more like this, that's called stories. That's again what Instagram people who use it can use. You have, I guess, 3 different things to post. You have just normal posts, which are pictures and photos, which are, stored right here, pictures and posts. You have IGTVs, which are a little bit longer videos between 1 and 60 minutes. You have Reels, which have another different tab right here. And actually you have stories, which are the ones at the top, which I just showed you guys. And they all have some different perks to them. And you just got to test them out to understand exactly what they do, or just quickly look it up. You don't need to know that for right now, though, as the most important part is understanding everything around it. Having said that, let's take a little bit of a look at your account and how to set it up for success. So on your phone, it may look a little bit differently, a couple of these tabs, and you may have a couple of other buttons, but generally it's the same thing. And for name, you can change it to something which you relate to a little bit more. Let's quickly look here. Name is, again, this little section, so change it accordingly. You can just change it to this name if you want to as well. Username, you most likely already picked a good one, so you don't need to look at. Website, I never fill in a website unless I'm promoting for somebody. And bio, right here is where it's going to get interesting. You can just look for another account, like for example, business, and I just look here. I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. Let me just quickly copy that, for example, and I just put that in for my own, and then change a couple of things like, hey, let me quickly change this to my own name. I can't really do this properly on a laptop. I notice here. Why is this so annoying? But again, on the phone, it should be not that different. You could just steal some. This is not working. You can just steal somebody's stuff. It doesn't really matter. Or you could just think of something. Generally, you don't have to put something unless you want to. So once more, keep that in mind. And on your phone, which I can't see right now, it'll have a button which says change your personal account into a professional account. And I'm watching on my phone right now to make sure I am updating you guys properly. Let me quickly see here again if I'm correct. So if you press edit profile, it'll say switch to professional account. If you press that, it will say create or get a free professional account, yada yada. Press continue again, press continue again, and then it'll say select a category. Then you're just gonna have to press 1. It doesn't really matter, but I 9 out of 10 times go for video creator. If you just type that in, you'll find it. Unless you find something else which suits you better. I press display on profile. I don't press that one on. And sometimes it also asks display email, which I also do not press on, but you can do that if you want to. Then press done, and then press creator and not business, all right? If you know what you're doing, then choose whatever, but if you're not, just press creator. It's going to be your best bet. And then press that X button on the right top. You don't have to complete your profile, invite friends, or share photos and videos. You don't really care about that. So right now you have your business profile set up as well, so you can get nice statistics about your account growth and stuff like that. And right now, the only thing we need to discuss still is how to get content. And I think I can explain it pretty simply. If you're on iPhone, download this app, Repost for Instagram, or just Repost. It's going to look like this. If you're on Android, just type it in and look for like Repost or Instagram Save. And this is generally the process. So you're going to go to a certain post which you want to copy or steal. And I'm saying steal because that's mostly what I do. All right. It kind of sounds stupid, but on Instagram, the culture is to just steal other people's content unless you have a certain niche where that's not possible, or unless you want a personal account. If you have a personal account, create your own stuff. If you want a specific branded account, you can create your own stuff. But if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're following my guides on this channel, we just mostly use other people's stuff. Sometimes with their permission, sometimes not, which is a risk, but it generally works out. And for example, if I wanted this post, which again, why and stuff like that, I'll be explaining in other videos. I've already done that though. You just go to there, you'll press these 3 buttons, which will say copy link. Once you press copy link, you go into this app and it will show up like this. All right, it will show up like this. And once you click it, you press this little button, it'll show up like this right here. You press this button left and go to none. If you've pressed none and this doesn't really matter, this is just to get this thing out of the way. You've pressed none, you just press the button at the top right, which will say like save video or something like that, or save picture. You save it and then you go to Instagram to post, or you can, at the bottom, it will say post to Instagram. You can also do it that way, but I don't recommend it because sometimes it messes up. So just save the video now and then go to Instagram and post a picture. If you don't know how to post a picture, well, take a step back and understand everything. There's going to be a plus right here, or for some newer accounts, a top or a plus right here, or even right here. That's what the different places may be. You just press it and then press post a picture. Is going to be pretty self-explanatory, I think. And then the only things you might be wondering about is, should I put a description? Should I put anything like that? Well, yeah, you should be putting a description. You should be putting hashtags, but I've explained everything like that already in my hashtags video and everything along those. I've already, I think, explained most of what you need to do on that regard. So I don't think you guys have any questions about that. That's just generally how you post though. You press that button, and if you want to post a normal picture or video, just press picture or video and go through the simple process of after that. If you've pressed it, it will explain itself. It's not that hard. As long as you know where to find everything, everything will be good. And if you can't, just go to places like this, like Instagram updates or something like that, because things have most likely gotten a little bit more annoying or difficult, and thus you might need to update yourself a little bit. But again, posting is not difficult. The rest is all not difficult. I would also recommend going for a profile picture, by the way. Just look one up on the internet. It is not that hard. And yeah, that was it for this guide. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again in another video. If you have any more questions, comment it down below, because I think I explained the most important things, but I don't know though. Maybe I missed something really basic right now because I went too fast. I don't know.